You can escape the law, you can escape judgment, but you cannot escape karma.
Tonight we follow a thief's life and what happens to his soul after death.
Every step in darkness leaves a mark, even when no human sees it.
This is the black-faced thief. No features, only the shape of greed. Theft begins as a small decision, repeated until it becomes a road. The underworld waits quietly, long before the final breath. Your shadow is your record, shaped by what you do when you think you're alone. In the unseen world, every act is logged. No edits, no excuses. He began in hardship, but hardship is not a license to harm others. Envy enters first, quietly, like smoke under a door. The first theft feels small, but it trains the hand and the heart. When he could have learned honesty, he learned only how to run. A neglected child often grows a loud hunger and mistakes it for survival. Money becomes his first false god, cold, simple, and demanding. Need can explain a choice, but it cannot purify it. Each success makes the next theft easier and more normal. Even in childhood, the escorts of death can already see the path forming. Pain punished him, but no one taught him responsibility or repair. Skill grows wherever practice goes, even when the skill is wrong. Years pass, and the habit hardens into identity.
He stops seeing people and starts seeing pockets and zippers.
The victim's confusion is part of the theft. Stolen peace, not just cash.
With repetition, wrongdoing feels like routine, like a job.
The more he gains, the wider his inner emptiness becomes. The record grows line by line, like a factory log that never sleeps. One click can open a door and open a debt you can't repay. He steals objects, but he also steals safety and trust.
The crime.
Indifference is how the heart protects the habit. He joins a chain of wrongdoing, each person strengthening the next. Every item here belonged to a real life, a real struggle. Speed turns theft into violence, even without a weapon.
One stolen bag can trigger injury, fear, and years of caution.
He mistakes escape for victory. His life becomes a production line. Find, take, vanish, repeat.
Stealing from the vulnerable adds weight that never lifts easily.
You knew we couldn't afford this!
Don't you dare blame this on me!
Theft spreads damage through families like a slow poison.
Dirty Ready money buys noise, not peace.
Pleasure fades fast, but consequences keep their shape.
The bigger the theft, the louder the karmic echo. The record does not judge by words, only by actions and harm.
Cruelty isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a quiet lack of care.
When you live in shadows, shadows eventually live in you.
He can outrun sirens, but not the law of cause and effect.
The city feels huge, but the path of karma is precise. Age changes his body, not his pattern. What he gained never became stability. It became isolation. Habit pulls the hand forward, even when the body is weak.
Public shame becomes the last reward of a lifetime of taking.
No friends, no family. Only a cold inventory of choices.
The end of life arrives the way he lived, quiet and unseen.
When the last night comes, it comes on schedule. He dies holding money, like a drowning man clutching stone.
The Bodial's time ends, but the account remains open.
This is the moment the world turns its page. Black and white impermanents arrive, escorts who never miss an appointment.
Their chains are not metal only. They are the weight of what you've done. He stands up, but his body stays behind, and this is the first shock of death.
In the spirit state, you can see everything and hold nothing. A warrant is issued, not by humans, but by the order of karma. There is no bargaining here, only transfer from one realm to the next.
The body becomes evidence, while the soul becomes the defendant. The familiar world dissolves into a corridor built from fear and memory.
One step outside, and the living world is already unreachable.
This is the crossing, where denial ends and accounting begins. Below are lost spirits, drifting without judgment, because no escort claimed them.
Only now does he try to beg, because now he cannot steal his way out. Regret is a door, but it must be opened while you are alive. Karma does not shout. It simply pulls. The return route seals itself, one heartbeat too late. Ahead is the bureaucracy of the dead. Courts, gates, and levels. The first gate is not a threat. It is an entrance stamp. From this point, everything is procedure, built to match deeds to consequences.
The underworld is organized like a factory. Each station handles a specific kind of wrongdoing.
Before judgment, the soul is shown what levels really mean. There are 18 levels, each a mirror of a specific pattern of harm.
Think of each level as a department, processing one kind of moral debt.
Sorting happens first, because punishment must match the cause. No one is lost in the system. Every case gets a file. Now the tour pauses, and the trial begins. This court runs on truth, not persuasion.
The red-faced king represents law, emotionless, exact, unavoidable.
In life, he refused to bow. In death, his knees learn quickly. The evidence is not rumor. It is recorded consequence. The court replays harm, so the soul cannot hide behind forgetting.
Here, even small thefts show their full size.
This is the first punishment, being forced to finally look. Judgment is measured. What you took, what you broke, what you refuse to repair. A few good moments cannot cancel a practiced life of harm.
Before sentencing, the court reveals the full structure of the underworld.
You will see each level briefly, so you understand how karma sorts itself.
The underworld teaches by exposure. You witness, then you receive.
Level 1 punishes deceit, because lies steal reality from others.
The tongue is stretched, because their words stretched the truth. He learns the theme. The tool of harm becomes the tool of correction.
Each level is a station, and the line moves forward without mercy.
Level 2 is for poisonous speech, insults. Their words cut others, so the air here cuts back.
Notice the system. Punishment is administered like paperwork, not rage.
His fear grows because he realizes his hands are next in line. Level 3 targets greed and theft, taking what was never yours. The intestine is a symbol. Endless wanting pulled into the open.
Step 1 of correction is witnessing the result of the pattern you repeated.
Even here, punishment runs in cycles, like a machine driven by karma. Level 4 is for betrayal and cold-hearted harm. People
Here, loneliness becomes physical, because they made others feel abandoned.
The underworld teaches. Emotions you inflicted return as environments you cannot escape.
We keep moving, because there are 14 more lessons to witness.
Level 5 is for exploitation. Profit built on other people's suffering.
The rhythm is steady, because wrongdoing was steady in life.
When guilt is ignored, it returns as a constant sound you cannot mute.
So far, you've seen the principle. The crime defines the classroom.
Level 6 is for those who harmed through cruelty and reckless violence.
It is endless struggle, because they made life a struggle for others.
Time is part of the sentence. The longer the pattern, the longer the correction.
He finally understands. Repetition in life becomes repetition after death.
Level 7 is for those who split families, communities, and bodies through brutal acts.
Here, punishment mirrors the cold precision of harm. In the underworld, you cannot look away from what your actions resemble. We're only partway. 11 more levels reveal how specific karma can be.
Level 8 is for those who crushed others through oppression or abuse of power.
The metaphor is clear. If you ground people down, you face the grind. The system runs on vices, the way machines run on gears.
That scraping sound is a reminder. You are being processed now.
Level 9 is for those who trapped others through blackmail, corruption, or manipulation.
A punishment is the feeling of being held by what you once used to hold others.
Even torment is audited, because this realm is obsessed with accuracy. He realizes the tour is not entertainment, it's his future preview.
Level 10 is for those who burned others with addiction, temptation, or deliberate sabotage. It's a world where consequences stick to you, like oil that won't wash off.
Every bad influence he spread comes back as heat he must endure.
10 levels down, and the logic never changes. You meet your own pattern. Level 11 is for rage. Here, anger becomes a furnace you must live inside.
Even if theft was his main crime, violence adds extra weight to the file.
In this court, related harms stack like charges in a case. Level 12 is for those who abandoned duty and left others to suffer alone. Their punishment is separation, because they chose disconnection in life. Even as a spirit, he feels cold, because regret has no warmth. They are not cruel. They are function, like clock hands turning. Level 13 is for severe violence, where life was treated as cheap. The message is simple. When you spill life, you drown in what you spilled. Relief is not innocence. It's only a comparison.
The underworld breaks your life into categories, like an invoice of damage.
Level 14 is for those who abused law, status, or authority to bind others.
Here, restriction teaches what freedom meant to the people you trapped. The moment he accepts reality, his fear changes into heavy understanding. Level 15 prepares souls for what comes after punishment, return or release.
The wheel is not mercy or cruelty. It is continuation.
Everyone faces review. The difference is how long
and how deep.
Level 16 is pure truth. No pain needed, because truth itself burns.
Is the hardest lesson. Feeling the fear you caused, as if it were yours.
Level 17 is for mass harm. Crimes that affected many lives at once.
Here, the noise is the punishment, because they created chaos for crowds.
In death, you cannot block what you refuse to hear in life. Level 18 is the deepest confinement, reserved for the most destructive patterns.
This is what endless mean. No landmarks, no comfort, only consequence.
The tour is complete. 18 levels, 18 reflections of human choices. Now that you understand the map, we return to the thief's sentence.
The judge does not change. Only the defendant's understanding changes.
His primary pattern is clear. Take, deny, repeat, over a lifetime. The scale shows imbalance, and imbalance demands correction.
For theft and greed, level 3 is assigned. Intestine pulling, the exposure of endless wanting.
Sentence is issued, like a stamp on a file that cannot be erased.
The route to punishment opens beneath him, because the path is already built.
He asks for mercy, but mercy cannot replace responsibility.
The court is not emotional. It is mathematical.
Execution arrived like workers reporting to a station. Trained, calm.
The escorts finish their task. The punishment department takes over. There is no detour now, only the direct route to consequences.
The fall feels endless, because denial takes a long time to break.
Memory becomes a storm. Every stolen moment returning at once. The destination appears. Level 3, where greed is pulled into daylight.
Welcome to the department built for thieves. Structured, repetitive, and unforgiving.
Look closely. Even torment has workflow. Stations, tools, cycles, and quotas.
The glowing cord represents craving, made visible because it controlled their lives.
Step 1. The system positions the soul, because punishment here is standardized.
Step 2. Restraint, because the mind would run forever if the body could.
Step 3. Inspection. Because the underworld punishes
Precisely, not randomly. Step 4. Extraction. His greed is drawn out as a visible thread. The more he stole, the longer the thread, because craving grew with every win.
Pain arrives, but the deeper lesson is exposure. He cannot hide his inner engine anymore.
Each segment shows a theft, linking action to impact in a single line.
Step 5. Review. He relives harm in sequence, as if watching security footage of his soul. The cycle repeats until the craving weakened. Correction through repetition.
This is why they call it levels, a layered system, running non-stop.
In death, excuses have no sound. Only understanding has weight.
The underworld tracks progress, because punishment is also a process of learning.
Notice how small beginnings created a large ending. This is the math of habit.
The worst thefts resist release, because the harm was deeper and wider. Not all thieves are equal. The system measures frequency, intention, and damage.
Hope appears only when he stops blaming and starts seeing a way to change.
But his road is longer, because his pattern was longer. For the first time, regret aims outward, toward the people he hurt, not just himself.
He remembers kindness he ignored and realizes choices were always available. In these stories, a changed mind doesn't erase debt, but it can change what you become afterward.
The system doesn't reward drama. It responds only to genuine transformation over time.
This is why the underworld terrifies. Not because it's chaotic, but because it's consistent.
Remember the Aten levels you saw? This is just one department among many.
Back in the living world, the same temptations still exist, without visible punishment.
Here is the moment the thief once failed. The small fork that becomes a life.
Step 1 is always awareness. You notice the chance to take. Step 2 is empathy. You imagine the fear you would cause. Step 3 is action. Returning what isn't yours breaks the cycle before it forms.
Even small goodness is recorded, quietly, but faithfully.
2 choices, 2 trajectories, one downward, one away from the gates.
Even in punishment, understanding matters, because it shapes what comes next. The underworld is not a myth about fear. It's a story about consequences. If you're still breathing, you still have time to choose before any level. And that is how a thief's soul is judged.